The views and opinions heard on You Talking Good are not necessarily the principles or practices of Pastor Galen Leverette and the Greater House of Prayer Church.
Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Good morning.
Hello.
Whatever the time zone is, wherever you are, we want to welcome you to another episode of
You Talking Good.
It's your girl, Evangelist Deborah Leverette, and I'm here with my incredible co-host, Minister Cheryl Fowler.
Hello.
And we're coming to you live and direct from our studio, and we have not forgotten to say thank you.
Thank you.
For all of your love, your support, your comments. Thank you for subscribing.
Yes.
You know where we are.
Yes.
Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Spotify. And if you enjoy watching, you know that we're on YouTube. So wherever podcasts can be found, that's where we are. And so we really appreciate all of our followers, all of our supporters. We appreciate you sharing the podcast with other people. So again, just as a gentle reminder, don't forget to
like, share, and subscribe.
Well, it's summer. Yes, so we are in the summer mode. Hey. Yes, and so we are excited about summer because this is the season where we really wanted to bring the live podcast to you.
Absolutely.
So it is coming to a city near you. I promise you.
Yes.
I promise you it's coming to a city near you, and we will keep you posted where we're going to be so you can be a part of the live studio audience.
Absolutely.
You can also get some swag bags. I love a good swag bag, honey.
I do too.
Free stuff, I love it.
If it's free, it's for me.
Oh, Lord. But we're doing this because we are getting closer and closer to our, can you believe it, 6-month anniversary.
Man, 6 months. Can you believe
God
that?
is good. I cannot believe it.
Awesome.
So if you are viewing this, or if you're listening, this is episode like 21. So we are officially season 1, 21. Yeah. Season 1, 21.
Absolutely.
And I just had no idea where this would go.
Man.
I'm having so much fun.
So am I.
With Minister Fowler. I know, honey, let me tell you something. If you missed last week's episode, honey, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, you better go back. You better go back and listen and view last week's episode because, honey, she spoke a word. She spoke a mighty word. So go back, listen, and view last week's episode, and please share that with a neighbor, with a friend, with someone you think that could benefit from it. But this week, it's summer, and summer makes people want to travel and have fun. Kids are out of school. Some people have to go to summer school, though. Maybe you're going to summer school to get ahead. Maybe not because you fell behind, but because you're trying to get ahead.
Absolutely.
And so summer is that time. And here in Chicago, it's different because we spend a lot of time in the house.
Wow.
We spend a lot of time with winter, the snow, the ice, and then rain, and then it's still too cold to go out. So once we get into July, then you know it's really summer. It's really summer here.
Gotcha.
I'm excited about that. So what are we talking about today?
Today, our topic is being more responsible.
And how many days do we have left before the end of the year?
173.
Lord Jesus. So if you're viewing this on time, and you haven't you missed it and you're going back or whatever, there are 170 plus days left in the calendar year.
Yeah,
and that's a little concerning because I still have a laundry list of things that I want to do, and if it's the Lord's will, I'm going to get it done. But if not, but remember we started out New year, new you. Yep. New year, now what? Now what? Are you accomplishing your goals? Are you getting closer towards those goals? Or were those goals even attainable right out the gate? Right. So we want to know. Put it in the comments section. We want to know how close are you to accomplishing your goals? And see, with it being summer, that means that Christmas is
right around the corner.
It's right around the corner.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, I know this is going to mess you up. I've already done my Christmas shopping.
Well, you already know.
I did it 2 months ago.
Guess what?
What?
That I know. I've done mine too. My list is very short.
Oh, Lord. Here we
very short.
Here we go.
And folks are getting gift cards.
Oh, okay. That was good.
Quick,
that was
easy.
Good, yeah.
Because a lot of times, for me, I know how to shop for me.
Okay.
But for everyone else, unless they're with me, I don't really know what to
I
buy
get it,
them.
but no,
So,
that's
gift
a
cards.
wonderful gift. I love
That's it.
I love it.
Gift
So
cards.
what I did was, as soon as stuff like went on sale,
Okay.
after Christmas, I jumped on those sales.
I've always been told that's
I jumped on those sales, and I kind of learned that from
responsible part to do.
I learned it from my mother and my grandmother, and if it's the Lord's will that stuff is put up, then all it has, be wrapped. I'm getting older. And it's not that I don't have the joy of each, season, but when you mature, because that's what you talked about last week, when there's some real spiritual maturity, you begin to look at life and the seasons and everything differently.
Absolutely.
You really do.
Absolutely.
You really take everything, you begin to take it in and not just react to it.
Absolutely.
So, and we're talking about today accountability because
that's our word for the week.
The word for the week is accountability. And this is a sensitive topic.
That it is.
Because people love to pass the buck and pass the blame to other people.
Yes.
And let me say this. It starts when we're young. Now, I'm an only child, but I used to watch my cousin. I have one aunt. She has 7 children.
Okay.
And so I used to watch them. As soon as something happened, they would all point the finger and say, so-and-so did it. Cheryl did it. Joyce did it. Junior did it. Nobody
accepted responsibility.
But they weren't about to do that because they didn't want to get in trouble. They didn't want to have no whooping. They didn't want to be put in timeout. They didn't want to lose outside playing privileges, lose bike privileges. And it's interesting because we bring that into our teenage years.
Absolutely.
We bring that into young adult. We bring that into full adulthood.
Absolutely.
We take it into the workplace.
Oh my goodness.
We bring it into our relationships. Nobody wants to accept responsibility for what they said, what they did, and the consequences that you have brought on yourself.
Come on now.
So we can start with, I know this is going to be sensitive, but we have to tackle it. We can start even with school. When children are in school and they get failing grades or they're not doing well in a particular subject, and we're not talking about special needs children. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you didn't do the homework. You didn't study for the test.
Absolutely.
You didn't do what the teacher said do. You didn't raise your hand and ask questions. But the first thing you do is you come home and tell your parents it was the teacher's fault.
Of course.
And sometimes as parents, you fall for the okie doke.
Fall for it every time.
And then the parent is what?
Going up to the school and giving the teacher hell.
Yeah.
Period.
And so it starts even that young.
Oh, absolutely.
It starts that young. And then young people, children, they have a tendency to blame other children, blame other students.
Absolutely.
Even when you see them get into squabbles and fights and think it was them, they were bothering me. But you know what, real talk, we make choices. You make choices every step of the way. You chose not to do the homework.
Absolutely.
You chose not to study.
Absolutely.
And you chose to lie about it.
Woo.
Now, I think when you're a child, and when I say child, I mean you're under 18, right? When you're a child and you're a teenager, some of that is kind of expected because you're like learning how to be responsible. You're learning how to make good decisions. You're learning that life has its own natural consequences, right?
Sure.
You're learning these things. You're learning that if you break the law, you're probably going to get caught, and there are consequences for that.
Absolutely.
But by the time you get in your mid-20s, and your 30s, and your 40s,
and your 50s,
come on. You're beyond somebody having to confront you about your behavior. So I have a real hard time with the lies, the omission of the truth,
absolutely,
the omission of the facts,
absolutely,
the sweeping it all under the rug,
absolutely,
the transferring of your emotions to other people, you blaming people for what you should have done,
absolutely,
you're faulting other people for what you messed up. I got a real problem with it. It's called accept some responsibility.
Accept it.
And real talk, own up to it. Why should they have to come looking for you? I want to tell you this. When we first started out, we started out with, just like a lot of churches do with raffle tickets.
Okay.
And it was a holiday season. and we let a person sell. Everybody want to sell raffle tickets. I get it, nothing wrong with it, right? You raise some money for your church. We're 501c3. Just want to let you know that.
Absolutely.
So the lady never turned in the money for the raffle tickets. Full grown lady. We ain't talking about no kid. We're not talking about no child, no young adult. Okay, between 40 and 50. So it was past the deadline to turn in the money, and Pastor asked her about it. And she said, I don't have it. And he said, well, I mean, you had like 20, 30 some tickets. What do you mean? And she said, I don't have it. He said, well, where is it? He said, did you sell the tickets? Okay, just bring the tickets back.
Right, if you didn't sell the tickets.
No, right. She said, no, I don't have the tickets either. Well, he said, well, what happened to the tickets? She said, oh, no, I sold them. And he said, okay, well, if you sold them, what did you do with the money? So there was this long story that
now she gave you a whole epistle to the Corinthians, a whole diatribe. Gotcha.
And she has passed on, God rest her soul. She said that she put the money in her account because she and her significant other needed to pay a bill, and she was going to go ahead and pay the bill with it. And then when she got paid, she would give the church the money they were supposed to have. But then there was a delay in her paycheck. And so she didn't get the paycheck on time like she thought she was going to get. So therefore, she didn't have the money. Now, thank you for being honest about all of that, right?
Okay.
But why did he have to even chase you down?
We didn't have to chase you down to get the tickets.
About the tickets and the money.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
That is.
Why did anybody have to? Now, so that's number one.
That's number one.
Number two, why are you putting the church's money in your bank account?
That's number two.
And I understand that your utility bills were due, but no.
But your utility bills come due every month at the same time.
You knew that.
You knew that.
You knew that.
So your failure to properly plan and save your money from your paycheck, that's not our or the church's responsibility.
And real talk, this beautiful person, again, never ever paid for those raffle tickets.
Of course she didn't.
Not 3 years later, not 5 years later, not 10 years later, never paid. Significant other never paid for the raffle tickets. Where's the responsibility?
And I'm sure still came to church like there was nothing wrong.
What?
Like there was nothing.
Of course. And so let me tell you what I learned as a young church leader. There will be no more raffle tickets passed out.
Amen.
That's what I learned.
Amen.
Because you have a lot of people who cannot accept the responsibility or the accountability for something like that. And so, and I thank God that none of the tickets that were sold, the people won prizes. Because we would have been forced to give them the prizes, even though we never got the money.
Knowing you never got the money.
So we learned, no. We will sell tickets for ourselves at the event. We're not going to give you tickets to go sell out into the community. And so when we talk about responsibility and accountability, I think a lot of times people just haven't reached that point in their own development where they're able to accept responsibility, that passing the blame. A lot of this is learned behavior.
Okay.
A lot of people are in households where they see the buck constantly being passed, blame being passed,
so
people
why would
pointing the finger at each other. And so then you learn that as a young person.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So you kind of learn that. And so we have an obligation, though.
Yep, we do.
Those of us who are leaders.
Absolutely.
Whether it's in education, whether it's in religion,
wherever,
in community, in the workplace,
at your job, wherever it might be.
It's just like people that are constantly tardy. You should never lose your job over tardiness. That's absurd.
Completely absurd.
It's
but
ridiculous.
I do know many people.
You watch them come in late every day.
My goodness.
And God forbid that the manager or the supervisor says something, because then they get a serious attitude.
Yes. They treat the manager like they're a public enemy number one.
And here's what I see. I see people come to meetings late. I see people come. They never walk in and say, oh, please excuse my tardiness. I'm
course
sorry
not.
I was late. No. They come with all arrogance.
All arrogance.
So we're living in a society where responsibility and accountability is boop, 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 boop. It's going down.
Much like customer service. Boop, 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 boop.
It's going down. It's going down. And so what are young people learning? I don't have to be responsible. I don't have to, hold myself. And that's what it's about. It's about holding yourself responsible, holding yourself to a higher standard.
Absolutely.
So we sit in the church, we sit in school, we sit in the workplace. Nobody is accepting us responsibility and accountability for anything that they do. And real talk, I don't know how we're going to turn this around.
Yeah, you know what? Here's an idea. Paul Masson said it, the wine creator. He said, I'll sell no wine before you pay for it.
I thought you were going to say, I sell no wine before it's time. Before he paid for it.
Before we pay for it.
Jesus Christ.
It's just like the raffle ticket. Employ that. He did say, I won't sell any wine before it's time. But let's just use that spinoff. I'm not going to sell you no wine before you pay for it. Just like raffle. That's probably why there's no raffle ticket selling and that kind of thing. No.
Don't do it.
Because again, the people that are saying that they want to, you have to be able to trust those people with the money, with the ticket, to get the money, and then be responsible enough to turn it and truthful enough to turn that money in.
So what we see in our society is we see people can't be trusted with much of anything.
Oh, no.
We really, and it's sad.
It is a sad concept.
That with all of this technology, we're becoming an unethical people.
Absolutely.
We
already almost was unethical prior to.
Exactly.
But now with the age of technology, where it is, people
no morals,
none,
no values,
none,
honesty, integrity, and your word meaning something is really it's gone out the window.
Now that you bring that up, my English professor, she's deceased now, Lord rest her soul. She has passed a few months or so back. But she wrote an inscription in my book. The book is at home in Missouri, so I'm not looking at the book. But she wrote an inscription. It was in the American, it's the Harristons. Remember Jester Harriston, who played Raleigh on Amen? His family, it's the Harristons, an American family in black and white. On the inside of the booklet, she wrote, "The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Honesty and frankness will make you vulnerable. Be honest and frank anyway. Our Lord has promised to protect us and guide us. Trust Him, have faith in Him. He will be with us forever. Speak the truth at all times, irrespective of the consequences." That, as you can see, I am not reading that book. I've read that book, but that inscription was very, very powerful.
But that's it right there, irrespective of the consequences.
Of the consequences.
So even when I talk to young people, let me tell you something. It would be one thing if it was just children and young people in their 20s. When I talk to adults, do you know I have adults tell me, well, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to get so-and-so in trouble. I didn't want to say anything because, I didn't want to start no trouble. It's irregardless of the consequences.
Irregardless.
It doesn't matter about what is the truth. The truth, the honesty. We must worship God in spirit and in truth. And I remember when I was growing up, if you did something wrong, your parents, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, they would take you to that child or take you to that adult or take you to that store and they would make you apologize.
Oh, absolutely.
You had to apologize.
Absolutely.
You had to stand 10 toes on whatever it was that you did, and you had to say, it was me.
It was
But
me.
we live in a world where it's her. If it hadn't been for them. And everybody's going along with it. I'm sorry. Everybody's playing that game that it's okay to blame and do this puff of smoke and create smoke screens. Oh, look over there. Look over there. It's not me. It's her.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Absolutely.
No. And this is what I noticed. This is what I noticed. Somebody came to me and they were telling me, this has been over a period of 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
They were calling me saying, this scenario happened to me. What do you think about that? Because I got into it with this person, and did I handle that right? Then, a few weeks later, they call me back. This happened. I got into it with this person, and did I handle that right? Was it okay? And then a few weeks, same thing happened about 4 times.
Oh, wow.
And so I had a business conversation with this person, and when I tell you the person went from 0 to 10,000.
Oh, wow.
I never got a chance to really even discuss or negotiate or talk to some. I handed the phone to pastor, and pastor couldn't get a word in, blah, blah, blah. And so when we both got off the phone, I said, now it's making me look back. Because all of these scenarios,
Absolutely,
where you're getting into it with people, and you're probably not giving us the full story,
of course
or giving
you're not.
me the full story.
Of course not.
There's a common denominator,
and the common denominator is you.
There's a common
Period.
denominator.
Period.
These 4 situations.
The common denominator in those 4 situations
Right.
was the very person that was blowing your phone up, who went from 0 to 10 million in 1 second.
You
are the
need to
person.
take some responsibility for how you talk, how you act, how
That's all
you
I'm saying.
function with
That's all I'm
people,
saying.
your decision making.
That's
like
it.
you were saying last week, are you listening? Are you going in prayer about anything? Or are you just the pop-off queen? Are you the person that lies all the time? Are you the person that omits the truth? Are you the person that's creating all of these situations?
Of course you are.
Sometimes it's you.
It's you.
It's you. It's you. I want the producer to put that on screen.
It's you.
It's not everybody else.
Of course not.
But I understand how you can convince yourself
Of course.
that it's everybody's fault.
Because again, you don't want to accept that responsibility.
And if you're constantly in it with people, you're constantly having conflict, you're constantly resolving issues and problems, you may need to take a step back
And say, what is it about me?
There it is right there.
Self-reflection.
Right.
My favorite friend.
There it is.
That is something that I practice. I don't have to, but I practice
There it is.
on a daily basis. When the Lord opens my eyes in the morning, but definitely at night before I close them. Lord, what was everything that I did and said today pleasing to you? Period.
And this whole thing about I don't want to get in trouble, stop it.
Stop.
Stop it. Just stop it, because at the end of the day, you are trouble.
Completely.
And I say that with a lot of love, because
With a lot of love.
if you're not willing to be honest and operate in integrity and be a problem solver, if you're not part of the solution,
You will be part of the problem.
You're part of the problem.
As Malcolm X said, he said, be part of the solution, not the problem.
and if you're saying, well, I didn't want to say nothing, and you're watching a situation blow up, you're watching it
Blow
get worse,
up.
you're watching it just
Absolutely.
go all spiral out of control, why won't you say something?
Oh, I don't want to get involved. That's
you're
not
part
any
of
of
the
my
problem.
business. But you're part of the problem.
You problem because you know what's going on. Now, I want to say this to all of the wonderful parents, because we have a lot of parents, grandparents, aunts, and uncles that follow us. I understand how painful it can be, because you're trying to work. You're trying to raise children.
Absolutely.
You're trying to be a good person.
Absolutely.
You're trying to go to church. You're trying to, be there and teach them what's right and teach them what's wrong. You're sacrificing time.
Absolutely.
You're sacrificing money, as you should.
As you should.
As
Absolutely.
a parent, as a grandparent, as an aunt and an uncle, as you should. But then you see them taking a wrong turn.
Absolutely.
You see them making poor decisions. You see them getting caught up with the wrong people.
Man.
You see them going off off the rails. And then you try to talk to them. You try to reason with them. You try to pray for them. You try to bring them to church. You try to, put them back on the straight and narrow. And then they get 20-something, 30-something, 40-something, and they're telling you, well, you didn't really do all you could have done.
Wow.
You really weren't the best parent. Oftentimes, what parents ought to do is this. I was talking to my therapist, and my therapist said, you should have given me more freedom sooner. And my thing, you. Hold up, bruh.
Let me tell you about that.
Yeah. Let's have some real talk for real people.
People with real problems in this real world at this real time.
Because when I have given my all. When I've gone as far as I can go.
Come on.
And real talk, when I've done all that I know to do.
Amen.
When I know I have done as far, and I've been over backwards, and I've sacrificed, and I've worked, and I've done all of these things. How dare you?
How dare you as a therapist? Your therapist told you what? Guess what, therapist? Then you come in and you take over and you come and raise them. I guarantee you.
And don't allow these young people to make you feel like you've been a horrible parent. They have and they have to accept some responsibility for the choices that they make, for the decisions, the people that they get hooked up with, that influence them. Stand 10 toes as a parent.
Because guess what? As soon as those influencers leave and turn their back, because they gonna leave you out there hanging.
There it is.
Oops. Now you got to come on back to mama, daddy, grandma, grandparent, granddaddy, uncle, whomever it is. You're gonna have to come on back this way to them.
And don't allow that stuff to make you feel like, or make you second guess your ability as a parent.
Okay, now
what?
It's like, man, please, parenting didn't come with no instruction book.
Honey, and I'm here to tell you, in the 21st century, they're going to throw all of their problems back on you and say, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do that. Honey, now, I understand the law, but it's better for you to say, look, what did your mom do?
Let me tell you what my mother did. My mother was not playing any of that. I didn't dare open my mouth to say that my mother was not a good parent, because she was a single mother. She was 18 when she had me and 21 when she had my little sister. We grew up like sisters versus mother and 2 children. However, she took very good care of us. We didn't miss no meals.
There it is.
She struggled. She worked 3 jobs, 4 jobs, 25 jobs, whatever it took to take care of my sister and I. And I am forever grateful, eternally.
There it is, right there.
I got out of hand when I was 18, and my mama said, oh, okay, you want to be grown? Get yourself right on out and get your own. Let me tell you, she gave me that, you know what we call it, that tough love. She gave it to me. I thought I wanted to be out there. Oops, what a mistake I made, because I really should have stayed at home until I was mature enough. But I had to grow up in a real quick fashion.
Let me tell you something. The streets does not love you.
Oh, no.
The schemers, the scammers, the hustlers, the pimps, the players, they don't love you. They don't love
busters,
nobody.
the jakers,
they don't
the
love
fakers.
Nobody but themselves.
That's it. And
That's
what
it.
they can get over on.
That's it.
And use you up, get on over on you, and as soon as everything done dried up, they done waved you bye-bye.
And so let me tell you, some parents and grandparents, don't start second guessing yourself.
Please don't.
Don't make yourself feel bad. You done bought cell phones, paid bills, then paid for tuition, then help make car payments and all this kind of stuff. You steady cash apping and you crying because they said something to hurt your feelings. No. Guess what?
You need to dry that purse. Right on up. Dry that wallet. Right on up. You want it all. My mama told me at 14, I was about to turn 15. I got a work permit and got myself together. Mother made me work.
There it is.
And I was appreciative of that. She said, all that you don't have, When it comes time to buy your school clothes and your school supplies, I will supplement, but this is your money. We're gonna make you work.
Be responsible.
I was responsible.
Be responsible.
Let me tell you something. One time I held on to $5 for about 3 months. Do you hear me?
Be responsible.
I was responsible.
And this is why you don't see young people accepting responsibility and accountability and then passing the buck to other people.
Absolutely.
So look, we want
We do.
to talk about the things that sometimes people are afraid to discuss.
Absolutely.
And the lack of accountability and responsibility here in the 21st century is horrible.
change. It is horrible, but
and those of us
change.
who came up in the 60s and the 70s, you better stand.
Stand.
You got to stand.
So
Don't
no.
let nobody make you feel less than. Don't
Not at
let
all.
anybody. If your child drop out of school, that's a decision they made.
Absolutely. When I was coming up, the truant officers would get you. Real talk.
And so what you need to say is, okay, well, you need to find you something, a program,
something
a class, a
or you go
training,
into the
something.
military.
There it is. You got to find something to do. Let me tell you something. Now, I understand we want to help. I understand that. You want to help. But if you're laying up in the bed until 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 o'clock, and you're not working, you're not bringing anything, you're able-bodied,
Eating up everything in the
you're
house,
mad.
burning up the electricity, eating up all the food.
And you mad because I won't give you money for a trip or travel or where you need to go. What have you been doing?
Nothing. Soaking up everything.
And I'm not embarrassed to say I don't have it. I'm not embarrassed.
Guess
embarrassed.
what? Embarrassed. This is my money that I get up and go to work for every day. Hear me?
This is not our money.
No, this is my money. Period. If you want it, as my mama told me, if one job ain't enough, get two. So I made a song. One ain't enough, get you two. Two ain't enough, get you 3, 4, 10, 25. Don't ask me for nothing.
She said this number.
This is my money, honey.
But it's funny because the kids think it's our money.
Yeah,
You're
but
an
guess
adult,
what?
Remember?
You're an adult.
Remember?
You better get on out there and get up, get busy, do it, get out and get some employment.
Yeah. No, for real. You got to be responsible.
You got to be responsible.
And parents, stop allowing your
Stop
adult
enabling
children to make you feel less than.
Absolutely. Stop enabling them.
Stop it.
Period.
Stop it. Everybody needs to
When
be
they
responsible.
scream they're grown, you help them be grown. Help them get employment.
And let me tell you something. I understand. We live in a day and time where success is everything that everybody wants, right? Because you see it all over social media. You see the lifestyles of the rich and famous. You see the big chains, and you see the ones with the nameplates, and you see all of this, the sports
And the big old clocks
and
like Flavor Flav.
Exactly. Everybody's getting these big contracts, and everybody's going on trips, and everything is just, but real talk, that comes with work.
You gotta work.
Work. That's how you get it.
Put that work in.
Not this kind of work where I'm demanding that you give it to me. No, you got to get out there and you got to roll up your sleeves. You got to get your hands dirty.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have to get out here, get up early in the morning, go to somebody's job, somebody's office, somebody's school. You got to get up out here and get it for yourself. It's called being responsible.
That's it. Because if you come by me and ask me for 50 cents, $1, a quarter, whatever you gonna ask, I'm going to reach right in my glove compartment and give you an ink pen. And I'm going to drive you to the Illinois Division of Employment Security so they can help you get about 2, 3 jobs.
And I'm here to tell you, I didn't say it, Mr. Fowler said it. Your choice is your consequences.
That's it.
You choose not to go to school and you fail, you drop out.
Your actions, your downfall.
There it is. There it is right there. It's not the parents' fault. The parents can't go to school for you. They can't go to work for you. They've done all
that they can do.
And so guess what? Whether it's in the church, where you're on the job, school, in the streets,
wherever.
Now, let me mess you up. Because the pimp demanding his money.
Guess what? And you going to walk the boulevard. You going to catch that date, hit that track, and take his cash back.
Know it. You better know it. And I don't
That's
care
pimp talk for real.
I don't care what you out here doing. I don't care if you selling stuff for somebody. What?
They want their money.
You better hit that quota.
You better hit it.
You see what I'm
You
saying?
can't come short.
This is not for play.
No.
So I'm so tired of people thinking that you can live your life without being responsible. Parents, help your kids get responsible. You stand on responsibility.
Absolutely.
And help them to get responsible
Absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely.
So look, we are not here to chokehold anybody, but this is real talk.
This real talk for real people.
This real talk. Because everywhere you go, there's responsibility.
There is.
And accountability.
Absolutely.
Irregardless of the consequences.
Irrespective.
It just doesn't matter. You have got to do what's right. Stop talking about it and
be about it.
Please. So look, put it in the comments.
Please put it in the comments.
Do you have a hard time holding your young people, your young adults accountable? Do you have a hard time, with your own level of responsibility when you mess up?
Absolutely.
Even with my team, I'm like, if you mess up, just say you messed up.
I know I do.
I'm sure we've gone over our time.
Absolutely.
Madam Producer, we've messed up.
Absolutely. But guess what? This needed to be, this is a topic that needed to be brought to the forefront. And we thank you so very much for your time.
Absolutely.
For listening. We want you to continue to like, share, and subscribe. We will get to the comments. I promise you.
Oh my
God.
We will.
We truly appreciate them.
We've been super busy, but we will get to all of your comments. Absolutely. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Talk to us about accountability. We want to know how you feel about it.
Absolutely.
And being responsible. If you mess up, I want you to stand 10 toes and say, hey, it was my fault. I'm sorry.
Stand on it.
Stand
on it.
Stand. We love you.
We love you.
Good night.